Oh, so good to see you on the course. And Augusto, out there with you. He's such a standout skater, right?
He really does stand out in such a unique way. Every time you see Augusto skate, you're gonna be surprised.
And someone else who was standing out is Faye Ebert.
I was rooting for Faye so much in semifinals. I was really hoping that she would make that alley-oop into the deep end on her last run.
And speaking of Faye, we caught up with her a little bit earlier to get to know her better.
Hi, my name is Faye and I skate for Team Canada. Being part of the World Skate Tour is amazing because it takes me to all these different countries and places, seeing everything around the world and skating all these different bowls is amazing. I really like the bowl. It's really fun once you get to know it. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to figure out these things. I've been here, I think, twice now. I really love Italy. My local parks in Canada are kind of small. They're not as big as here. So sometimes it's kind of hard to adjust to these big parks. This one's not that big, but yeah. I used to skate a lot more street. Now it's kind of hard because I was approaching the Olympics and I kind of had to focus more on bowl. The Paris 2024 Olympic Games was amazing for me because my whole family got to be there and they don't usually come to these events, so that's pretty amazing. I didn't do as I wanted to. I didn't really put down my run, but I was just happy to be there, happy to keep going, and I want to keep pushing. The feather in my helmet is from my pet duck named Richard. She's back home, and I've been putting the feather in my helmet since I was maybe 9, 10. Looking back on the 2023 World Skate Tour, two of my favorite places are probably Dubai and Argentina, because the last time we went back there, and it's really fun, it's really floaty and nice, so it's not that hard to get used to. My run went pretty well yesterday. I have a few more things I want to add, and I just want to come here and conquer this bowl, and feel good about myself in this bowl, because it actually is pretty fun once you get used to it.
Really good to hear a little bit more about Faye, right?
Man, Faye with that personal touch, having Richard the Duck's feather sticking out of your helmet, I don't think that'll ever get old.
So good to see. But it's time to find out more about today's competition and our format. We're going to be having 8 riders in our final and 3 45-second runs. You do the run until you fall or until you complete that full 45 seconds. But there's a lot more just than the time, right? It's all about strategy.
Well, it's finals. You've made it a long ways to get here. You want to get in and get a run down early. Make the other skaters beat you. Nothing worse than doing all that hard work just to leave with 3 knee slides.
And speaking of hard work, yesterday was absolutely bonkers, right?
Unreal to watch. I cannot wait to see what they're going to bring today.
And speaking of yesterday's competition, let's take a look at how it went down. The semi-finals bring their own hype, with established heavy hitters strategizing their path to finals and bold newcomers going all in from the get-go. French rising star Nana Taboulet sailed into her first women's finals, joining Great Britain's newcomer Lily Strachan, who impressed the judges, nailing a kickflip indie on her 3rd run. Brazil's Raika Ventura, who was all but certain to advance, hurt her knee on an uncharacteristic bail during her first run and limped off after qualifying. As expected, Japan's Hinano Kasaki and teammates Asahi Kaihara, Mizuho Hasegawa and Mei Sugawara comfortably made it into the last 8. While Spain's Nia Lasso came through in first, looking like she's back from injury as if she was never away. Canada's Faye Ebert seemed to skate with a new determination after her Paris disappointment, but was unable to improve on her first full run. Adding to the disappointment was Yuan Li from China, unable to stick her run-ending twist on any of her 3 attempts. Brazil's Fernanda Tanisi could be proud of her best ever performance, completing 2 full runs but missing the cut by 6 points. She now knows where she needs to improve to make the cut to that final 8. In 9th, missing the cut by a heartbreaking 1/4 of a point to countrywoman Lily Strachan, came the determined Lola Tamblin, who was more consistent and assured than ever before. Now all she needs to do is expand on her bag of tricks to become a constant finals threat. Good moments there. Awesome to take a little look back at things, and it was super exciting, wasn't it?
Oh my goodness, on the edge of my seat for it felt like 20 minutes, but it was longer than that.
And you were saying earlier that people only getting through on their last runs.
Man, 3 of the 8 women who qualified did so on their final run, and for a lot of them, it came down to that last trick in their run.
So the sun has gone down out here in Ostia, Rome, right on the seaside, and the lights are coming on. Last few minutes of warm-up, but let's check out our start list for today. So first to drop in, Lily Strachan. She was shining yesterday, getting the kickflip Indy right at the on that last run.
One of the girls who put it down on that final run.
Rika Ventura went through in that first place position, now sitting middle of the pack. I think she's quite comfortable and looking very good in practice. And then obviously Nia Lasso back on top form after that injury.
Nia coming back strong. You know that she's not thinking about the injury. She's not thinking about anything that's happened before. She was attacking this park in practice like she means it.
And having had many injuries skateboarding myself, it's all about that physio and then also a positive mental attitude. And you see a lot of people taking a moment, standing on the platform, breathing, and that introduction of coaches nowadays is a new thing to me, but really seems to be working, right?
You know, anything that can get you into the right mindset. For some people, it's a really strong relationship with their coach. Some people, it's just a strong routine. Whatever it is, you need to step on your board, know the risk that you're taking, and be willing to go for it anyways.
And it'll all come down to how well you're judged. You can see our criteria on the course right there. Flow and consistency certainly is getting ticked so far. And that is an esteemed panel of judges. Just up on your left there, we're getting that inside look. Renton Miller on the right, head judge. Shari Duffy in the mix. Good to see Ben Hatchell in there as well. Chris Wood, Chloe Bernard from France. Nahuel in there from Argentina. All accomplished skateboarders, they know exactly what they're doing. And when we caught up with Renton yesterday, he was telling to us they're almost looking for reasons to mark you down, as well as up.
There's no such thing as a neutral part of your run. They're looking for positives and negatives. So if you're just chilling, if you're relaxing too much, that's going to hit you pretty hard. But if you give them a reason to score you well, you will be rewarded.
Okay, you hear the buzzer go off. The crowd are ready. We've got absolutely jam-packed stands out here in Ostia, Rome. And we're moments away from getting our Women's Park World Championship final started. We'll be taking it over to GB's. Lily Strachan. She was putting some new lines together in practice earlier and looking very strong, doing some tricks she's not done on concrete before. So, looking very hyped up, looking focused there. You know she's picturing all of those tricks and getting in the zone. So 45 seconds on the clock, dropping in and carving over the side of that volcano. We see this line being used quite a lot to get that speed over the love seat.
You have to use the love seat. So if it's the best way for you to start, that's okay.
The invert there. 50-50 to bring it back, taking it over the hip. Yeah, leaning up to that tail slide. Loving that stale fish. And this is where we're going to start seeing her change that run around. Oh, and missing that backside Smith grind. She's smiling, though. It doesn't always go to plan.
She was working really hard for her speed. On the way out of the deep end, you could see her kind of reach up for the lean to tail. And I think once her legs wake up, that pump will come back. She'll get up to the coping on the back Smith and move on.
I mean, being the first skater in any competition is petrifying. You're sitting there waiting to get the go-ahead from the course manager. You can see all the people in the background almost reaching up to the sky, and 45 points coming through. So good start, and you know that that score is going to boost as she gets the second half of that run done.
She did well late in the contest yesterday. I have faith that she'll handle the pressure today.
So, run one, and another 45 seconds on the clock for Nana Tabale. We had some news that Captain Baguette is in the crowd, her dad, waving a baguette around, full support. Oh, and starting off with that big frontside air, ollieing out onto the flat bank. Nana's been warming up great earlier on and looking very comfortable. And it all comes down to not just the tricks that you're doing, it's where you do them to be able to set up for the next trick, right?
That's a great time for her to hit the volcano into a frontside 50 off of the extension.
So Alan up to get back into that deep end, taking the India air in, scooping up that backside air, taking it over the hip to frontside lip slide. I'm loving these, you know, into the deep end, getting an air or a grind and coming back out straight away, not spending too much time in one area and finishing off with a big backside nose grind. Solid run number 1 there for Nana.
And she put in 5 or 6 tricks in the last 10 to 12 seconds of the run. So I think if she can pick up the pace early in the run and keep it feeling the same all the way through it, that'll really help her score.
Yeah, it was kind of a slow start, you know, and then built up into it. So you're saying keep that energy going in the beginning as well.
Maybe find a way to link those 2 or 3 tricks back to back to back early and then do it again later in the run.
But it's also worth mentioning, and we've seen it time and time before, people getting a solid first run down gives them 2 more attempts to improve on that. And some of those people have ended up relying on that first run.
Well, and not only does it help you, it helps all the other competitors too. Once a good run goes down, someone can back it up, and then someone can back them up. It's really good for the health of the competition for good runs to go down early.
And 82.49 coming in, sitting up in that first place position as we take it over to Asahi Kaihara. Looking very focused, starting up on that big flat bank.
You'll see a lot of people start from the bank in the same spot, but that doesn't mean their lines are going to be the same.
So building up that speed, bringing it over for the big 50-50. Now speaking to Renton, he wants to see that difficulty improve, not just per round of the competition, but in those runs as well. Needs to start stepping up and away from the 50-50,
and that's 2 50-50s to start, but this is the first run. Get her legs woken up. That frontside nose blunt in the deep end is no joke. I think she's ready to put this down and then improve on it.
Yeah, straight in and straight out. And cruising back across. Whoa, the Benihana.
That
Christian
one
Hosoi right there.
I thought she messed up the frontside air.
Fakey hang up. And ending that run out. Well-timed run. And a different approach than we saw in semifinals.
A smooth start, a nice finish with that Benihana, but that frontside nose blunt right in the middle is just such a strong centerpiece. I think she's gonna build around that on both ends of the run.
For sure. And getting that full run done, you can see smiles from ear to ear right there. Very happy, takes the heat off. To start off with that big backside 50-50 and the backside ollie out onto the flat bank.
And on the frontside nose blunt, watch her eyes, keeping track of the coping all the way until after the board's locked in, and then it's time to get out.
But you see a lot of people, they get into the frontside nose blunt and there's a little stall, a little bit of time. That was straight in and straight out. No wasting of any time.
It takes so much practice and confidence in yourself just to keep your pace that quick.
Okay, waiting for that first score to come in. New leader, 85.14, and looking very, very happy of that.
The judges are looking for a score early in this contest to kind of base the rest of the competition off of.
Okay, round 2, Brazil's Raika Ventura.
You can tell from Raika's skating that she has a long history of vert influences from coaches like Volvo, who I've competed against in Mega Ramp, and Chris Mateus. Raika has also done Mega Ramp herself, and you'll be able to tell from her high airs and a really good pump.
Taking the indie nose bone down into that deep end, boosting the backside air, and coming back out the way she went in, frontside air, taking that Smith grind off and over the hip. Great line there, so many tricks back to back.
Look, she's letting it fly, landing low, holding on, but she's smooth. She looks comfortable. She looks like she's in her element.
She looked like she was really enjoying that Japan air then and held on to it for extra long.
She's got through the hard part. Just compose yourself, finish strong. Maybe take a big breath right here.
Taking that melon over the teardrop end of the volcano and getting the backside lip slide right before she takes it back into the deep end. You could see she was hyped as she came out of the back lip. I've done it. I've got through there. And let's remember, we could be seeing the winning runs as the first run.
100%, and that's in contention. The nose blunt on the bank, the back lip to finish. A strong finish like that, there was like 2 seconds in the flat bottom, but I don't think she had time for another trick. So that run was well built.
Yeah, I mean, we heard from Renton, head judge, he doesn't want to see people ending their run early and just riding out those last few seconds. But like you say, I don't think that's going to hurt because she wouldn't have been able to get to another obstacle.
And something that is hard to feel from home, but we can feel it here on site, just how big those airs are, how much speed she's carrying through the park, where just a regular air or something over the volcano, the judges are really appreciating a lot of speed, and that's Rika's specialty.
Yeah, and taking the ollie up to the nose blunt, that's one she struggled with in the semi-finals, and we had a little glimpse at that one, but looking so comfortable and, you know, just reeling off the tricks. She's practiced the whole line and just ticking the boxes as she goes through, one trick at a time.
And I know...
Whoa, 89.68 coming through, and way up there in that first place after run number 1.
She's happy with that run, but I spoke with her and her coach in practice, and there's more left.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what that is. You can see DJ Redbeard there, spinning the tunes and keeping us entertained. And we are taking things off to Mizuho Hasegawa.
Very different approach than the Brazilian Rika. Mizuho is very smooth, almost looks like soft on her board.
And taking that frontside tail slide out off of the love seat and the stalefish into the deep end. Like you say, different trick choices as well as use of course. That lean melon was great in the deep end. And it back into the deep end, backside Smith grind through that corner. And you see she's got quite a wide stance on her board, right?
That really stands out to me. That wide stance will really help with stability and comfort while going fast, but might start getting in the way as you do more technical tricks like ollies or flipping the board.
And I mean, that could be what just went wrong. Let's take a look. So bringing it out for that alley-oop that has been catching out so many people.
That alley-oop has been a staple of a lot of runs here, but it's also been most of the problems that we saw in semifinals, both men and women. Just getting through that alley-oop into the bank there must be an optical illusion there or something.
48.25 coming through, so work to be done. Got 2 more runs to do it in. Mei Sugawara up next, 17 years of age, regular stance, so left foot forward. Waiting for the go-ahead from our course manager. Go. There's that thumbs up, starting up on that big flat bank, wasting no time, getting straight in there.
Talk about calm, cool, and collected. Mei's best finish prior to this contest is 9th. So she's already outperformed herself, and she wants more.
Big front side nose grind. The way she pops going through the corner and clears almost the rest of the coping, so good. I mean, back into that deep end, lovely frontside lip slide, nearly hanging up,
I
still got
wonder
the speed.
if that front foot adjustment was a recovery or if she wants to put a kickflip there next run.
Well, that's going to be exciting. So 10 seconds on the clock, taking it to tail in the deep end. And you can see it takes quite some time to get all the way back round, nearly a full 10 seconds to get back to that tweak backside air. Mei completing that full run, looking very, very happy, but I'm excited to see where she changes that up.
Yeah, me too. I think she's skating exactly to her strategy, but purposely left some room.
See that backside stalefish, and then you see she was still in that stalefish and spotting where she was going to take off onto the flat bank.
And then this nose grind, how strong and confident you have to be in your front leg. That coping is not easy to grind through. You're getting a lot of feedback through your front foot on your truck, hearing that coping grind, and then you have to do a legit jump off of it.
Yeah, you've got to nollie off of that nose, past the coping, get that back truck all the way out of the way. 87.18 and jumping into second place. Mei looking very strong with run number 1. We've got 2 more athletes to go. As we move it over to Hinano Kosaki. I'm quite excited to see how she's going to change up those semi-final runs.
No stranger to the podium here, second place last year.
And she knows the bowl, she knows how to make it work, and choosing to take that backside roll in a different spot to anyone else, but it's not wasting any time because she can get that speed. Whoa, going around there. Get that saran wrap over and off that hip.
You know, that's a great way to save 3 seconds, I think it would be. But I wonder if that was what hurt her, if she didn't get enough speed from that roll.
Quite possibly. I mean, if you don't get that roll in right and you slightly hang up or you roll in slightly in the wrong place, it's going to throw you off in both speed and direction.
Yep. Also, rolling in, getting straight to your trick. There's no time in between. Maybe that extra 2 seconds would help her collect herself.
But also that extra 2 seconds could be an extra trick that could win you the whole competition.
Might make the whole difference.
Okay, Nia Lasso, first run. And our last rider before we take it back to the top of the heat. Qualified in that first place position, gets to lead last. 45 seconds on the clock. You see her sprinting onto her board and ollying into that bank.
She looked nervous in the camera angle, but then as soon as she started running to get on her board, it was like lock in.
Taking the frontside lip slide off the hip into the deep end. There's that backside tail slide we know her well for.
I love that she gets it out of the way early.
The backside blunt to get that direction change.
And on attack mode with these pumps, she's asking for speed.
Oh, dipping that front truck down and getting the backside Smith, backside ollie onto the bank.
That is not an easy place to do the back Smith over the love seat. You got to go a long ways.
Ollieing back out of the deep end, taking that 5-0 to Fakie. Coming in, Fakie, that sets up really well for the L twist. And just missing that last trick, so that means that fall hopefully won't count, because if you do fall on that last trick, it's gonna hurt your score.
Just got confirmation that fall was after time.
And that's very, very lucky.
And she doesn't know that yet. So this score is going to be very different than she's thinking.
This is how it went down. Big frontside Smith grind to start things off. That's about 5.5 meters from coping to coping. And then that big backside Smith pointing. Oh, and it was actually a cheeky 1 foot there as well.
You know, that's a bad angle from the judges' booth as well.
Yeah, and they'll be watching these replays. They told us earlier we're checking out things that we don't quite know perfectly, and that score comes through 86.30, slots her perfectly into that 3rd place position. So now everyone has had a run. They know what that top score is to be, and they're now going to have to start sprinkling a little bit of sugar on the run that they previously did. And in Lily's case, she needs to get that full run down. Looking pretty calm and focused up on that bank. And here we go, 45 seconds on the clock. Taking it front side through that corner and over the hip. Boosting that front side air. Oh, and hitting the ejector seat. And that means that the heat is on now for Lily's 3rd and final run. She's going to have one more attempt at getting that full run.
Big time. And Lily's the type of skater to try new tricks every time she's going to the park, not dialing in runs over and over, where it can help, it can hurt.
Well, she was trying a trick in the deep end earlier, and I bet her 10 euro that she couldn't do it. She did it that next go. So I want to see her get to that, and I want you guys at home to be watching that one as well as we take it on to Nana Tabalay. Currently in the 5th place position with the 82.49. Needs to just adjust that run slightly. That tuck knee frontside air out onto the bank as well, and back into that deep end with the frontside Smith grind. Same run so far, backside 5-0. And some people just missing the grind on there as well and wasting a little bit of time. It's good to see her get the 5-0 in there.
The hardest part about using the volcano is landing in the right spot, keeping your speed.
Yeah, we've seen it suck so much speed away from a lot of people. Kickflip Indy. Oh, and just couldn't quite stand up on that one.
And I think that's a confidence thing. I really, watching that, you'll see that back leg just kind of give out a little prematurely. I think if she stood up tall and kept weight on her front foot through the bottom of the transition, that's a make.
So you can see here, getting that foot ready and catching the nose really well.
And that back foot, just be strong on that back leg. You see it start to come in so the knees almost come together. It's just really hard to have strength from that position.
So we're going to be waiting for that score to come in, 55.47. But switching up the run is definitely a clever way to approach that run number 2. But it will come down to run number 3 for Nana. Asahi Kaihara up next. Already in that 4th place with the 85.14. She now knows what she needs to do to be able to take that lead.
And I just love Asahi's style so much.
Backside 50-50 to start things off. Backside ollie onto the bank.
And since she made run 1, there we go. We're starting to see more power, a big Madonna.
Yeah, and the judge is going to love to see that change. The Madonna and then the frontside air hang up as well. Onto Disaster.
And when you have a strong first run, you don't want to try to get 1 more point or 0.5 improvement. You want to do a trick that's going to move the needle.
For sure. Coming back around into the deep end. There's the Benihana.
Bigger extension on the Benihana this time. Feeble fakie is new.
Oh, wow.
But that's the strategy that I'm talking about. That was a beautifully put together run, and she finished it on a higher note than her last.
Pretty sure that was 3 different tricks.
Yes.
That's quite impressive. You see a lot of riders, they'll either change 1 trick mid-run or maybe 1 trick at the end as their last banger, but we're seeing 3 right there. That shows how deep her trick bag is and just how talented she is as a skateboarder.
And that's a great strategy because you're saying you're giving the judges a good reason to score you higher. There's nothing left to interpret.
Well, we know what's to come, 76.15 and falling as well, so that's definitely going to spice things up a bit. Okay, in that first place position right now, Raika Ventura is looking pretty good, but she knows after especially seeing that last run that she's going to need to increase that lead a little bit more.
And I think as you're going into more technical tricks deep into finals, like this kickflip Indy,
wow,
having the first run under her belt is really going to come in clutch.
Well, that really is going to spice it up. Taking the frontside Smith, so changed just that 1 trick, and what a hell of a trick it was. There's the backside Smith grind.
The heat on right now. The worst thing you can do is try to slow up too much, finish too safe. Raika's at her best when she's just on her edge.
Got all the style for every mile on the Japan and taking that ollie up to nose blunt. Frontside lip slide off the hip as well. Taking it over, she's got time for 1 last trick, getting the backside lip slide in. You can see she is ecstatic as she rode out of that one. Heavy run for Raika.
To go, Raika. Way to finish strong. Starting your run with your banger it gives you some pros and some cons. You have energy when you're trying your hardest trick, but then you put pressure on yourself.
Exactly, and you can see that Brazilian passion coming out. You see some people approach skateboarding to a methodical kind of rhythm. She's feeling things out. You can see the passion in her skateboarding. You saw that, you're seeing it there, sprinting across. Don't waste too much energy, because I want to see what you're going to put down next. She's in tears as she's running across there to her dad.
It's always a good sign when that score takes a moment to come in. This is that new moment where the judges know, okay, here's our leader, because this, I think, will beat her first run, and we're going to have to base the rest of the contest off of this. You have to beat Raika now.
And you saw the 89.68 without the kickflip Indy. That was with the Indy nosebone. Wow. So here we go. Kickflip Indy caught it. You see the board, it flipped really fast, didn't it? Straight into her hand.
When you're doing a flip trick out of a small transition going that fast, the board flips faster. That's one of the hard parts.
Taking that lip slide off the hip into the deep end.
And with the Brazilian skaters especially, when you're seeing a little bit of speed wobbles, when you're seeing the arms fly around, maybe landing a bit low, I look at that as a positive. She's feeling comfortable and confident. Not every skater, that wouldn't be a good sign for every skater, but for Raika, that's awesome.
Moments away from getting this score in. It's going to be a big one. 93.73 and way out there, still in first place, Raika Ventura. That's the first over 90 score of the week, Mitchie.
And it's well deserved. She was on top of it from the beginning of that run, and honestly, she was smiling a little bit before. I think she just felt ready.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you go into it with that positive mental attitude and happy and enjoying the competition, yeah, it's nerve-wracking, but have some fun out there.
Man, and it makes a big difference.
Okay, Mizuho Hasegawa. 48.25, needs to get that full run down, and I really hope we get to see it right now.
Mizuho has to focus on herself right now. No matter what anyone else does, you have to do your job. Nothing changes.
Big lean in the deep end. Stalefish on the way back out. Backside tail slide. It's looking good so far. Need to get round onto that flat bank where we saw her fall on the alley-oop. And here it is. Yeah, getting it done this time. That's going to be the confidence builder as she goes into the rest of this run. Kickflip Indy.
And a little bit of a kick of the board on the way back in.
Clipped her heels or clicked her heels.
It looks simple, but that becomes really difficult and really scary to stand on. Any hiccup in the middle of a flip trick is a nightmare.
Taking the front side tail slide through that deep end corner and finishing it on the buzzer. Mizuho Hasegawa back on form.
And she showed some real energy on the way out of that, clapping, throwing her arms up. She wanted that. You could tell that was for her.
I mean, it's always disappointing when you fall on that first run, but making up for it, and you know, that energy's got to come out, and it's great to see that passion coming through.
And I wonder if the frontside alley-oop got her last time because she was ready for the kickflip Indy. Knowing her hardest trick is coming next, you can make a simple mistake.
Yeah. Here we see it. Kickflip Indy, the deep end. Yeah, almost a heel click there.
Yeah.
Okay, waiting for that run to score and a complete run score to come through. Here we go, 86.45. You see that nod? She is happy with that one and sitting in that bronze medal position of third. Okay, Mei Sugawara had a great first run, currently sitting in that second place right now, but way up there, Riker with the 93.73. She's going to have to put the pedal to the metal right now.
There is no doubt. She cannot relax at all. One thing she's going to need to ask for is maybe just that second level of power at one spot in her run.
Bringing it into the deep end. Here's that big nose grind. Perfect as ever. And keeping that speed up to come back over the love seat. Down to that 20-second mark, back in the deep end, kicking that back foot off. We saw her have some problems with that yesterday, but getting it done this time. Backside Smith grind and eyeing up that deep end again. 10 seconds left on the clock.
Now you have to really pay attention to energy here. You're getting deep in the contest. One of your legs is going to feel really tired. Just be strong as possible.
This is coming down to the buzzer on that twig backside air, back in the deep end. Solid run number 2 for Mei Sugawara.
Mei is going to be hard to beat, but there's a big gap between her and Raika right now.
I feel like that might be a slight improvement on that first run.
But if you're in second, the competition is winding down. You've gotten this far. You made your first run. I would love to see something that's really going to make a big impact on the competition. At least a real attempt.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see that score come in after these replays. She's going to know what it's going to take to be able to close that gap a little bit more. 88.56, climbing up that leaderboard and extending that lead away from Hasegawa and Nia Lasso. Okay, Hinano Saki.
A quick roll in straight into the air. Needs to wake up her body right now on the deck. Doesn't have the luxury of getting in the rhythm in the ramp because it comes so quick.
Right now we only have 2 riders left that haven't got a complete run down. And Hinano's one of those. Rolling in, getting that pump over the hip. Looked like she had a little bit more speed that time.
There we go. And now this is her first time really in this bowl for finals.
Getting that rock and roll slide all the way around that deep end corner. Back out onto the love seat. The front side air, bit of a nose bone on that one.
Now she's really taking form here.
Bringing it up onto the flat bank. The big boneless and eyeing up that deep end. We know what's coming.
This is where she feels the most comfortable. That was the part of the run that acts as a centerpiece. Now we're in the final trick section.
Frontside feeble through that deep end corner. Backside air. Got that 5 seconds on the landing of that one. This one's going to have to be...
one more hit in.
Whoa! Is that going to be in on time? It's going to be very close. She was certainly on the transition and committed to it.
We're going to have to phone the judges for that one.
Yeah, confirmation is that was in on time.
Was in.
Yeah,
nice.
And you can see she is absolutely beaming.
Think about the use of Park there. If she would have stayed in the flat bottom instead of carving the corner, that might not have counted.
Yeah, exactly that. And I mean, this is what we're seeing with people getting through to the final. It's that use of course and that educational approach towards the course as well. That's a way to start the run for sure.
We've seen the 540, but that doesn't mean that we're used to it. That the judges are looking at that part of her run. It is the strongest thing that we've seen so far. That's an absolute powerhouse of a trick in the deep end.
There you go. Lands so perfect every time, lands with lots of speed as well.
Just because she makes it look easy and she looks comfortable, that is actually going to help her score. When you're doing a hard trick and you're making it look that easy, that is only a positive.
Okay, here comes that score. 89.58 and closing all the way up into second place, pushing May down into that third.
From a first wall bail to a make is a big difference.
Yeah.
She's feeling much, much better now.
Okay, Nia Lasso.
Nia looks nervous.
Yeah, I think she's saying, right, okay, this is going to have to be the ride of my life to close that gap and climb up towards Riker's 93.73.
She had that eye in practice where she looked comfortable. As soon as she gets in the bowl, it comes right back.
Frontside Smith grind. You see her lifting up that front truck, showing full control.
Part of that control comes from her great control of her front foot placement and a really strong back leg. You'll see her stand up on her Smith grinds, drop the front foot and turn it. It's really cool.
Back across the love seat. Oh, and missing the backside Smith grind. Do you think the nerves are coming into play after what we've seen so far?
You know, I think Nia needs to really focus on what her job is. I think watching the 540s and watching Rika go so big and get these big scores, I think you just have to focus on doing your job and being happy with that. This isn't a time to learn new things, but you just have to be comfortable with yourself.
And Nia, please don't cry. You are absolutely phenomenal on a skateboard. And to get through to the finals is enough. The top 8.
I'm okay with emotions. As long as you're honest with yourself, with how you're feeling, that's where the real power comes.
Okay, third and final runs. And this is the last chance for Lily Strachan to get that full run on the board. We know she can come through. She did it on her last run in semifinals. And you can see that focus.
Man,
as soon as she gets the go-ahead,
like an hour.
she's in. Come on, Lily,
Strong
let's
pump.
see you get this done. Starting off with a big frontside air. Yes, that's going to build that confidence, and it's a feel-good trick as well.
I can feel her energy from here, from the broadcast booth.
That invert, taking the axle store back across, leaning up and stamping that back foot down. You see that? She was like, boom, that's going in.
And she's such a calm person on and off the board. I think that really helps as the pressure gets bigger, as the pressure gets higher.
Did you see what she did there as well? Oh, and missing that in the air. She chose to change up the back Smith for the backside 5-0. Didn't have enough speed again and came back round and went for that indie air in the deep end. We've seen her do the kickflip indie earlier, and I was hoping we were going to see a little bit more from Lily. But like we said before, getting through to these finals.
And what
is
happened
a
in
big deal.
semifinals?
Yeah.
Lily did great on her last trick in her third run. She's so calm that as this pressure starts hitting everyone else, like you're seeing, Lily can stand tall.
Oh, for sure. Okay, third and final run for Nana Taboulet, currently in 7th place. 82.49, needs to get 88.57 to get on the podium. 45 seconds on the clock.
And Nana's free here. She made her first run. She did what she came here to do. Have fun with this.
It's the frontside air to start it off. The frontside ollie out onto that flat bank. Standing up on that frontside Smith right in the deep end.
Into the waterfall.
Yeah, that's such a gnarly way to ride out of it. That waterfall comes up quick anyway, let alone doing that Smith there.
Much better landing on the volcano. This will set herself up to, I think, a better finish than last time.
Yeah, I think she's calmed down a bit.
Yeah.
You can see she's standing up on her board and commanding the space she's in.
And also the lighting is really good, and that makes a difference.
Oh, the back foot couldn't quite get back on. Oh, you know, very disappointed. I was hoping we'd see something different, and we just couldn't get past that kickflip indie.
You know, and it was the back leg both times, at least from here, that's what it seems like. Once she gets that problem solved, her kickflip indies look so solid that I think it'll be a staple for her.
Yeah, I mean, you know, regardless of what happens, everyone's getting competition experience out here in Rome. And, you know, you're seeing that mistake being made, and then by the time we get to the next competition, that mistake has been corrected, you know, because of the experience they're getting.
Long-term thinking. All right, let's bring in Asahi.
Asahi Kaihara. High score so far, 85.14, and that's good enough for 6th place. But needs to get up onto that podium, and she closed that gap. Bringing it in backside and over the hip. And that speed, the backside 50-50 to start things over. I was hoping she was going to change that up.
Me too, to be honest, but I know she has a plan here, and I think it was adding some more juice, adding some more speed.
Yeah, just coming off of that Madonna. You can see she's all smiles. I mean, getting a score up into the 80s, that means that you are really pushing things. 17.99, so we'll be going home with that 85.14. At the moment, 6th place. Still all happy. Good to see all those smiles on the platform, and someone who's definitely going to not be able to hide that smile. Raika Ventura, our current leader.
I know she's happy with today's performance, but she got 4th here last year. That's really close to the podium. That hurts.
Yeah.
I wonder, I bet she's been thinking about this all year long.
I saw her do that backside Smith so comfortably and so many times in practice, but not quite getting it done now.
Her job is done for today. That's completely okay.
So from a competitor's perspective, Mitchie, how hard is it to sit there and watch the rest of the skaters now?
Well, for Raika, it's not going to be too difficult. It's not like someone is going to completely surprise you with one thing at the end of the run. You'll be able to watch the run build, and she'll be able to tell well before it happens that, okay, I'm safe or I'm in a lot of danger here.
2.74 coming in. As we move on to Mizuho Hasegawa. 86.45 on the board already. Just one position away from that podium.
Almost clipping the coping on the way in.
You can get away with the last few centimeters of that coping, but that was really close, but missing that deep end. We'll be staying with that 86.45.
Every single rider that drops in, Raika can relax just a little bit more.
Yeah. It's going to be a nervous wait for her, but she's also going to be trying to stay calm and saying, I've not done it yet.
And as we get later into this competition, those are our higher qualifiers.
Yeah.
These girls put down the best runs yesterday. They have a real chance to knock her off the top.
So Mei Sugawara coming into that hip, boosting
lot of
out.
Speed out of that stale fish.
See that foot getting ready straight away. Not quite getting the grind she needed.
This is a difficult part of the contest. When you start comparing your runs to other people, it gets really tough. You really need to lock in and know, no matter what anyone else does, you have your own job to do.
20.41 coming through for Mei. And you can see Nana Kasaki.
She's guaranteed to make the podium, Hinano is. It's just, where on the podium will she be?
Well, she's not going to hold back. She wants that gold medal, that first place, and starting in that same position again.
I think we'll see the same start of the run, but maybe something different at the end.
So exciting.
Already
starting off the same.
A little bit power in that pump, a little bit extra power. We can feel that really easily on site.
But it's hard not to pay attention to the energy we've got out here in Ostia right now. Big frontside 50-50 through that corner. Boosting that bonus on the flat bank.
she is smiling. I think she's really having fun out there.
Solid 540.
Okay, now is a great time just to do something different that's going to move the needle.
There's the frontside feeble.
And there it is with the kickflip Indy.
Standing up on it and riding away down to that last 2 seconds.
And it's
this
a
one's
very
after time.
Similar timing to last time. That carve might work in her favor to count that last trick.
But we saw 89.58 without the kickflip Indy.
Without the kickflip Indy.
We've seen the kickflip Indy there, but we're switching that out for one trick.
And Rika had a very similar strategy. Was around the 88-89, jumped up. They're going to be comparing these scores together, not objective 93.75, but does that beat Rika?
I mean, it's going to be close. I think it's going to be certainly breaking that 90 barrier. Moments away from finding out.
Some comparable things. Think about the little bit extra pump Hinano put in there. That matches Rika's a little bit, and she added a 540.
Yeah, I mean, with the 540, flipping and grabbing your board as well, it's certainly ticking the boxes of what's expected and what's needed.
I would love to be able to see each and every one of those notes, comparing these riders and what is really going to make the difference, because it's going to be close. And I wonder if you get points for smiling like
yeah.
that.
Such a big smile during a crail slide. Amazing to see. Okay, here comes that score. All eyes are locked on the scoreboard. It's between these two right now. 91.44. Sees her stay in that second place position. And Rika is very, very happy about that.
And that shows Rika's power and speed and style and consistency really being important there.
That means there's only one more skater that can beat her as well. Look at that smile. She is so stoked right now.
Okay, we're on Nia right now. And she's got to really compose herself. Take a breath. This is a really complicated part of competing. It's okay that you feel like this, but that doesn't change your job. You still have to give it the best shot that you can. It's gonna look different for everyone. That's fine.
And I want to see the power of the Yoda socks used right now.
Got to keep a really strong back leg. That's her strength. She's got to lean on it right now.
Big frontside Smith grind to start things off.
Take a breath. Hopefully we'll be able to see at a point in this run where she starts to look like herself again.
Yeah, just needs to get a few tricks done and start relaxing and knowing that it's all coming together.
Yes.
There you go. She's got past that backside Smith this time. There's the 1 foot out onto the bank.
Here we go. I think she's feeling comfortable now. I think she's forgot about the last runs, and she's going to change up her line from practice.
Yes, kick for Bindi out of the deep end. Taking the 5-0 to Fakey, coming in with the L twist.
There we go.
And getting it done. Wow, Nia Lasso. All the power in the final hour coming through in that third and final run and getting the completed run. And look at that camaraderie there on the platform. Getting a big hug, and rightly so.
She should be really proud of herself. That is so hard to do. To get that strength back in your legs, to feel your feet, and to do it under pressure when obviously it's a really big moment.
You can see Alain Goycochea giving her a huge hug and those emotions coming out. Team Spain in full support right there of a great run from Nia Lasso.
Everybody is feeling it just as intense. It's just all going to show in different ways.
There's that big frontside Smith grind and getting the backside Smith done this time. And this is where we saw the change. She came out of the backside air, getting that foot ready, kickflip Indy over the hip.
You can see her feet moving around in the flat bottom, getting ready, just confirming that flick, and once she grabbed it, there was no chance she wasn't going to stand on it.
You see her face riding out of that one, and the smile then comes out. She knew that was the point that she needed to get past. I saw her trying that in practice earlier, but I didn't see her land one, so I'm not sure if that was the only one that she's done today.
We will have to see where this puts her.
Wow,
onto the podium.
90.14, and it sees Nia Lasso jump up into that third place position and on to the podium.
She has had a long road with injuries and very close placements, and I think this one is going to mean a whole lot to Nia.
Riker in there giving her a huge congratulations. She knows that she's taking the win out here, getting that gold medal, first place. Look at that. Everybody is hyped for everyone else on the platform. And that is what is so true to skateboarding. It might mean that you've lost the competition to someone, but you're up there giving them props, because good skateboarding is good skateboarding regardless. Time for a quick selfie. Look at all those smiles. And I tell you what, Nia just bringing it back, resetting herself. What do you think Align said to her before that third and final run?
I think he's just there for her. I don't think there's anything specifically that you can say to get someone to snap out of it. That's about a battle that Nia had to win herself, and I think she did it while she was in the bowl.
And one of my favorite moments of that, when she did the kickflip indie over the hip, you could see she was like, oh, I've done it. A look of surprise, her head disappeared below the coping, and as she came out and did the 5-0 to fakie, beaming smile. That is just electric for me. It, you know, puts my hairs on end. It is so cool to see, and I absolutely love that about skateboarding.
And it was such a different story for Rika. She came in strong. I knew that she wanted more than she put in on her first run, but I think that strategy worked great for her specifically. Gave her a lot of comfort.
Here's our results and our final standings. Lily Strachan not quite getting it together, but I am sure we will see her in plenty more finals. Nana Tabale in that 82.49 and 7th place position. Asahi Kaihara, Mizuhu Hasegawa, Mei Sugawara just missing that podium, but Nia Lasso coming through in that third and final run into that third place with a 90.14. Hinano Kusaki, 91.44, and Rika Ventura with a 93.73. And we're with her down on the platform right now.
I'm here with Rika Ventura, new world champion. Congratulations.
Thank you.
4-time Brazilian Park champion, 3-time vert champion. Did you feel like this day was coming for you?
Yes. I'm so happy.
And you come from a very supportive family. Your father skates and your mother, Camilla, you have a very close relationship with her. Can you tell us how important that is when you're growing up skateboarding?
My father and my mother, they are very important to me. And without them, I don't know who am I? And thank you, Dad. Muito obrigada, Pai. And thank you, Mom. I love you guys so much.
And when you have one other family here, you've got your background team, Chris Mateus, Fernando Granjan, those guys. Can you tell me a little bit what it's like to have a team like that behind you?
This is the best team ever, and they helped me a lot. And I want to thank them. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the people that helped me and support me.
I have one last question, Rika. Hinano Kusaki ran you very close at the end there. Were you nervous?
No, if she won, I would be happy because I was going to be in the second place, but I won and I'm happy.
They will be partying in Brazil back at home. Do you have a message for everybody there?
Can I say in Portuguese?
Please do.
Muito obrigado, galera aí do Brasil. Obrigado por tudo que vocês comentaram aí de bom, que eu sei que vocês comentaram, ouvi tudo. E é isso, vamos Brasil, ganhamos!
Congratulations once again, Rika. Go and enjoy yourself. Back to you in the booth, Mark.
Thank you very much. Great to hear from Rika there. Such a positive person. Everything she said there was amazing.
Man, the fact that she was just watching and being proud of the other competitors, she's wanting to win, obviously, but the most important thing is she did her run.
Yeah, and someone else who did their run was Nia Lasso. Let's take a look at her bronze medal run. He had so much pressure as she dropped in for that third and final run, knowing that it was now or never.
Yeah, what a wonderful performance, focusing on her strengths throughout and then just giving herself a chance to get on the podium by finishing with the kickflip indie.
Yeah, and it came down to that kickflip indie and stepping up that line. All hugs there. And Anna Kosaki repeating that silver medal and coming through in that second place position. And it's tricks like that. It comes down to execution, I think, for Hinano. She does everything perfectly.
3 dramatically different styles on the podium, 3 different ways to get the same results.
And then here we have our world champion, Raika Ventura from Brazil.
I knew that she looked strong in practice, but when she stood up on that kickflip and into the deep end, compared to the other girls who did it out of the deep end, I knew she meant business.
Yeah, I mean, she went through in that first place position into semi-finals, slipped a little bit, but then came back even stronger. So good to see, and you can see that support from everyone in Brazil and all the family. Oh, it's so amazing to hear from her and to see her skate and step things up. We've got a bit of juggling demo going on from Augusto Akio, as always, out there on the volcano. And that has been our Women's World Championships of Park Skateboarding out here in Ostia, Rome. We're moments away from getting our men started. And it is going to be going from strength to strength. And I cannot tell you how exciting it is to be out here on the platform. Great insights from you as well, Michi. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. It's been a pleasure. I really like having this perspective, watching with a bird's eye view, trying to get in everyone's head.
And we've got 45 seconds on the clock on the first run of 3 for Brazil's Pedro Barros.
There's nobody better to start this contest. He doesn't need to feed off of anyone else. He's ready.
Okay, here we go. He's waiting for that go-ahead from course manager Nico. There it is, thumbs up, and we are underway with our men's final. Just asking for a few people to move out of the way.
He's going to use the park in crazy ways. We already know this.
Yeah, he likes this different entry, and I really like to see the different use of course. That's really going to go with his score. Huge 5 in the deep end.
That could be fine. He got some time to get his speed back up, and he landed fine going over the love seat, which is the most important part.
Back into the deep end, second 5, but not quite standing up on that one. And then falling onto that waterfall, but you see him shake his head. He's like, no, it's all good, got 2 more. And he's very positive,
A lot of times, Pedro can hang on to those under-rotated 540s. Once his legs get under him, and we're deeper in this contest, I expect that to be a make.
So, Stalefish 5 just didn't quite get it round.
That transition's a little bit quicker than it looks. So just this extra bit of pressure that pushes you off the back seat, I think it's just fooling these guys a little bit, but as that contest moves on, like I said, it'll come together.
43.07, and with 2 540s in the run, it's looking great for Pedro Barros if we can get that full run down as we go to Victor Sormundi. Looking very focused. I saw him this morning and I said, are you ready for this? And he went, yes, today is my day. I'm hyped to see it. 45 seconds on the clock, rolling into that flat bank to get that extra speed.
Little bobble on the roll-in, but sometimes that's enough to distract you and take away your nerves.
Big heel flip frontside air all the way over that coping. Huge melon 5. He's not messing around out there.
These tricks are spread out, but they're all so big and so hard.
Taking that Indy back into the deep end. Tail grab 5.
Wow.
Never looks bad. A tail grab 5. So, so good.
He's on edge, but it looks like he's just skating perfectly within his comfort zone.
He's coming down to that last trick.
And this trick is so hard.
Oh, there you go. Full run, time for one last one.
That's full Bob
buzzer.
Burnquist on the alley-oop, fakie to fakie 5 to half cab front blunt. Those tricks are both so independently difficult. To put them together is almost impossible.
Do you know what is exciting for me? First run in, he's landed that complete run that he's been training. What are we going to see next?
Well, we've seen him mess with the volcano in different ways. So I think in the middle of his run, we'll see a big upgrade. Because the beginning and end were already so strong.
I think this is going to be a big score to start things off.
Check
Let's
out
check
the
out how it went
foot
down.
placement coming out of this fakie 5.
Whoa.
You see his back foot almost on the edge of his board, having to dance around on the skateboard in the flat bottom to get to the fakie blunt. It's crazy how much he was able to move around and just survive.
There's definitely a tow bar hanging off of there. You could have hooked a caravan up to that. Okay, waiting for that score to come in. First run, 90.58, and you can see he's hyped on that. The first 90 of the day, but what I can tell you is I don't think it's going to be the last one.
There's more, but he should be very happy with that, especially this early in the contest.
Coach giving full support there as well. What a way to start things off. And talking about starting things off, how about balancing your board on your chin?
Gusto is a showman on and off the skateboard.
Okay, that new score for first, 90.59. Augusto knows how to put a really good run together, right?
He's calm, he's cool, he's collected, he's in his element.
Straight over with the backside Smith trying to start things off. Ollie 540, wow.
I saw him practicing both nose grab 5s and ollie 5s into the longest frontside nose grind you can do.
It was like he was on the monorail there.
It's a very strong start to Augusto's run.
Oh, heel flip frontside air getting away from him. Not sure if that was the line into the deep end was slightly wrong maybe.
I think he went a little bit too wide. There's different ways to do it, but the way his line works, he was landing in the corner very consistently.
Yeah, you see him take off on that straight edge and land in the corner, which absolutely petrifies me, but he seems to make it work for him.
Yes, but you need to be very accurate on your landing spot. If you go a little bit too far, it messes with the timing, it changes the way you grab the board, and I think he'll fix that next run.
Oh, he's so consistent with that trick. And he's not going to be too worried right now. He's all smiles. He knows he's got 2 more runs to get it done. 50.18 coming in as we take things over to Hampus Winberg. Now, Hampus is almost running out of room on this part. He is sending it so hard. He's nearly landing in all the opposite corners to where anyone else is getting near to. How does he do that?
Hampus has a tough job to do. Well, getting a deep squat and basically a big jump off of each transition as you're going down is going to make a huge difference in your speed. If you see how low he squats into his pumps, that's where all that power is.
Speaking of power, straight into the nose grab 5. Look how chilled he rode out of that.
And I like that he's being chill, being very cautious, not cautious, but aware of his speed.
Taking it back into the deep end, lean up into that melon. Lip slide.
Perfectly locked in Smith grind in the deep end. Sometimes in the middle of your run, that can be difficult.
Oh, every go, no!
Okay,
I'm
well,
wrong.
Look, we've seen 2 people loop out in the deep end. We've seen 3 of the veils in the deep end. A lot of times what that is, the nerves going into finals. Your legs just aren't behaving like they were in practice. The timing is going to be a little bit different. Once everything starts firing, I think people will be able to hold on a little bit better.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to get that first run out of the way, settle those nerves. Like you say, just move on from it.
Sometimes it's as simple as a strong back leg. I would love to see Hampus before his next run jumping around, waking up his right calf, which is his back leg, just making sure it's strong and ready to hold on for dear life.
He's a bit disappointed there, but we know he's got what it takes as we jump into the judges' booth. Just getting those scores locked in. Maybe just checking the scoreboard, looking at where he needs to sit, and working out the exact score he needs to be positioned where he should be.
Hampus has a lot of placements outside of the top 5. He's ready for that breakout performance.
All eyes locked on that scoreboard, waiting for it to come through. We know it's not going to be up there for that complete run.
He's like, give me my throwaway score already. We all want to move on.
48.06 sees him in that 3rd place position. Okay, here's DJ Redbeard racking up the songs, getting everybody hyped for our finals as we take it over to Igoit's Minjuska.
What a strong skater. He has such a consistent and smooth line. Watching him meticulously work this out in practice over the 3 days has been a pleasure.
Yeah, really taking a few deep breaths there as he powers it into the deep end with a huge 540 to start things off.
And I like that he goes 540 and then over the love seat.
Well, that shows how much speed he's got. And speaking of speed, out of the backside Smith, straight to a huge ollie.
All the way over the bank, the only one in the contest doing that.
He traveled that alley-oop Stalefish 540 so far then. See that pump round to get that tail slide ollie out off the hip.
He's attacking this full on. This long Smith grind through the corner.
Taking it up to the backside lip slide. Oh, and the blunt slide not quite working out for him. But that is a heavy run.
It's easy to be in a rush while you're in the blunt slide. The thing is gonna get stuck on the coping, then bounce, then rotate. If you lean forward too early or your foot placement is too far forward, it'll shoot you off the front.
So start it off with a big melon 5 in that deep end. The alley-oop kickflip indie just getting perfectly onto his feet. And this traveled a fair old amount.
The alley-oop into alley-oop is really nice.
And then a powerful frontside Smith grind through that deep end corner to get the line.
And this blunt is coming. He's gonna fall forward this time, but I'm really hoping he makes a big adjustment. Make sure if there's a mistake that he makes, it's not going off the front edge.
65.22, so he knows that it's going to be a great score. If he gets it completed, Trider will get heavily docked if they don't make a full run as we take it over to hometown hero Alessandro Mazzara, and he has a different way to start this run, right?
He's gonna use a railing that's on the edge, and what you can't see from this angle is it's like an 8 or 9 foot drop off of the other side.
And I think this different use of course really helps him stand out. But it's not just that, it's just how well he does all his tricks.
And ollieing over the coping on the way in makes the biggest difference.
But look at the speed he comes out from that width, straight into the love seat, standing up on the 5-0. Boom,
And he
huge.
was setting up for that kickflip well before his frontside grind.
Wow, taking that 540 into the corner, must have been petrifying.
Hold it together. Now he's got to regain his speed, have some strong pumps, but then control his pace going into the end.
What I like to see there is he was actually smiling on the way out of that. He knew just how lucky he was to get away with it.
Now into the final section, this kickflip indie fake. Oh, he changed it for the frontside nose blunt. And his foot is set up again.
Oh, missing the kickflip indie.
This is where the middle of the run going a little bit sideways, I think got in his head a bit, and it gets hard to compose yourself to finish strong.
Well, when these skaters are training their runs meticulously, it's the routine. They're saying, I do this, then this, then this. When you don't make one of those things and you come out in a slightly different position, it's so hard to get back to that trick you were going to do next.
You have to quickly sub out one trick and get right back on track.
But that alley-oop kickflip indie was absolutely beautiful. Look how far he traveled.
And Egoitz did an alley-oop kickflip Indy as well. But with Ally doing it off the quarter pipe, into the bank, out of the frontside grind, there's a lot working in Ally's favor there.
Not getting the rotation on the kickflip Indy there, but certainly one to watch. And it's going to be exciting to see the next two runs for Alessandro. 75.58 with a fall.
With the fall. The judges really like what they're seeing from Alessandro. And I do too.
Yeah,
I like what I'm
sure.
seeing from Alessandro.
Okay, last year's silver medalist, Luigi Cini, running through those lines in his head. Looking and seeing himself on camera there and getting a smile in. I like Luigi's approach to the course, but what sets him apart for me is just how much control he's got with the flip grabs.
It's amazing to see. His pump is so strong that he gets all this height, but he can tone it down, control his speed perfectly for the flip tricks.
Starting it off with that backside Smith grind and taking it into the deep end. That was a big Indy.
And this is why he's the highest ranked athlete in the field right now.
So that kickflip Indy back out the way he came as he comes back in to the deep end. Big 540. Good use of that spine hip as well. Not many people messing around with that area.
A lot of tricks coming back to back to back here to finish this run.
Wow, you see that little tweak? That's because he's got so much control with those flip grabs.
And where you see most people struggling with speed control on regular airs, he's doing tricks like this on the volcano.
Wow, getting it done. And we mentioned yesterday, not taking anything away from that run, it was phenomenal. But you want to see him doing something else on the flat bank. He could do a kickflip faking, and that would change things up. And I feel like he would be boosting that score.
Yeah, there is a part where keeping that risk factor up just a little bit through that last trick will make a big difference. He barely qualified in second. So there is room for him to finish that run with just a little bit more juice.
You see that Team Brazil passion coming through there. Both Pedros and Luigi in the mix. That Indy nose bone into the deep end. He had so much speed, he did a huge kickflip Indy out of that. Traveling good distance on that, and he had really good height.
Good distance, good height. It's easy to forget that Luigi is going as fast as everyone else. He missed the grab for a second on the kickflip stalefish. It's easy to forget that he's carrying as much speed as anyone else because he's doing so many crazy flip tricks.
Yeah, and that 360 flip stalefish is a special one. You don't see many people doing that for a reason. So difficult. Yes, look at that, tongue out.
That's actually required when you do that trick,
Yeah.
if you didn't know that.
I have noticed that. Okay, 87.49, and that sees him slot into that second place. That tells you just how good Victor Sormundi's run was to get into that 19.58 first place position. So, pretty much what we were saying. If he changes up that last trick, that could be the difference of him taking that first place position.
We saw a lot of Bales run one. I'm happy Luigi got his run down. He has a couple of ways he can improve on it. I'm just curious to see how he's going to go about it.
Okay, coming through in that first place position from semi-finals. Kalani Koenig is ready to drop in, doing it from the deep end.
You can tell he's just high energy. Oh, wow.
Okay, we saw him start that run in semi-finals with the alley-oop kickflip Indy. I can't tell you how far that is. It's massive, isn't it?
It's like proper 5 paces across.
Just not getting it back onto his feet.
In semifinals, he had a run to build off of before the alley-oop kickflip off of the love seat. In finals, it's cold. You just watched everyone skate. It's a really difficult way to start your run.
Yeah, we have dropped the temperatures, but we certainly haven't dropped the tempo as we move back to the top of the heat where we started with all the power, Pedro. Not yet got that full run. Fell on the stalefish 540. You can see him building up that energy in his head.
We're going to get a lot of information just by the way Pedro lands this first 540 right here. If it's up close to the coping, we're in good shape.
Oh, switching up the grab this time as well. Went straight to the stalefish. And that's what he does, right? He goes, no, I'm in control, not you.
If there's anyone who can change his line on the fly, it's Pedro. He was going the complete opposite way he meant to.
Oh, that kickflip Indy just went way too high. He couldn't get hold of it and get it back to the feet. We've seen him land some crazy kickflip indies. I'm talking about the board being in another postcode and him grabbing it and getting it back to his feet. But he just couldn't quite get control this time.
As long as he gets the grab, Pedro is going to put his feet on it, and he's going to stand up.
On basically anything he goes for.
Across the board.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is.
He's all smiles. Just having a quick chat there. We know he is going to get back to that powerful mode in that third and final run as we take it over to our current leader, Victor Sormundi, 90.58. Got quite the lead ahead. Really interesting to see what he changes in this run.
You know, when your run is that good to start the comp, it's always interesting to see how you're going to make a big difference.
Starting off with that heel flip, frontside air. Again, you saw him fold it onto his feet. Huge 540 in the deep end. Look at the speed he's come out with.
And as a skateboarder, do not compare yourself to your first run. Stay loose, stay free, and just try to add something.
So much control on this tail grab 540, but just missing that frontside nose grind. Just clutching that wrist a little bit. He's not looking too hurt from that.
It's easy to start micromanaging scores, and when you feel a little bobble, you have to do the extra work to get the points back. Just put everything out of your head. I think he's focused on adding one difficult trick in the middle of his run.
Well, he knows that we've got 4 skaters who've not got a full run yet. So he knows that his lead is not secure, and he's going to want to push it even further in that third and final run.
And there were 4 final run makes in semifinals to create this final.
Exactly.
So everyone here is good under pressure.
So Augusto Akio didn't get the first run he wanted, but drop it in for run number 2 right now in another 45 seconds as he starts it off with that backside Smith and the Ollie 5.
And you can tell his head is clear. He's just having fun. He's a very present skateboarder.
He is on the train tracks as he takes that nose grind through. Saran wrap backside Ollie to tail.
Let's watch him control his landing spot coming out of this heel flip in the middle of the corner.
Wow, he caught that quite far away and he just threw it down.
And this ollie out straight into a tail slide, which puts him into the deep end in a different way than everyone else.
Straight in to that Weddle 5. Pumping back out of the deep end, over the hip. Lean alley-oop. Oh, did he hit the coping on the way in?
He did. It's very difficult to control your landing spot. He probably was landing too low in practice and losing too much speed to get over the love seat. So he tried to hug the wall, get really close to it, but with it being an alley-oop frontside, you can't look where you're going.
Well, what's interesting, in qualifiers, we saw him do the 540 over the hip after that. So maybe just coming out of the deep end a little bit too slow or the wrong line. I mean, you've said it before, a couple of inches to the other side than what you're used to can destroy that line.
The 540 put him into a carve. I think he wants to do alley-oop frontside from extension to extension and then go over the love seat one more time.
I mean, look at that score, 79.97, and in third place with a full.
It's so impressive. You can't overstate how good Augusto is at using the park.
Talking about use of park, Hampus Wimberg is up next. Run 2 of 3 and another 45 seconds on the clock. Yet to get the full run he's after, but looking very focused.
Hampus has made very easy mistakes. He does the hard tricks very well, but I want to see him attack the middle of his run, even though it feels like a filler to him, but it's not, because he skates so fast.
There's that big body jar spanking that coping on the way in. Frontside grind, bringing it back to that lean lip slide, and then taking it back out.
Pump I like to see. I want to see him keep this pace up into this kickflip. We changed it for a Madonna this time.
Yeah, that extension on the back leg to control it as well. Oh, it's looking good so far for Hampus. Bringing it back into the deep end. Oh, he's standing up on it this time. It's time for one last one. And the front side blunt to finish it off. Hampus Wimberg gets that first full run, the very much needed.
Really nice adjustment from Hampus to put his scarier trick, the one that was bothering him, all the way at the end, just to put a lot of pressure on it so you can focus on that alone.
J-Mag giving him the props right there. Heavy shirt game from him today.
Hampus has been skating a long time, since he was 6 years old, and has a lot of vert experience. You can tell because his pump is elite, and he's using these big walls to blast higher than everyone else.
You can see that right there with that huge body jar. There's the nose bone off of the volcano all the way over, and that was incredible. And it's the way that Hampus gets his board back onto his feet. Look at the position there. Perfect landing.
Perfect foot position. Everything is built around the foot position.
85.18. That sees him in the third place, and it's a thumbs up from Hampus Wimberg.
That's just over Augusto's bail, though.
Yeah, I mean, that tells you just how good Augusto's run was. Okay, back round to Igoitz. Run 2 of 3, yet to get the full run. This kid is going far, and skateboarding's in very safe hands with the likes of Igoitz.
As long as he stayed warm on the deck, I think he's got a great chance to put this one down.
Yeah, not only do the higher qualifying riders have the privilege of skating later, they are getting cold the whole time.
Alley-oop kickflip to alley-oop stalefish 5 is a really nice combo.
There's that backside tail slide all the way into the corner, bringing it round off the hip with the frontside tail slide and over.
That middle of the run just dedicated to get all your speed. I really like that.
Out to backside lip slide. No! Oh, wow, this is the one that he has every time. And to get all the way through that run and miss that last trick is so going for him. Goitz taking that wander back to the platform.
I would love to figure out just why he's falling forward a little bit. It wasn't happening in practice. It was happening every once in a while in practice, but not to this level. Maybe if you can just move your back foot onto the tail a little bit more. If you're seeing your toes fall off the tail, if you can see those at all, you see his back foot on the front side of the skateboard. That's just gonna start pushing everything behind you, causing your upper body to pitch forward.
And with that trick, even if he comes up a little bit early, the way it works, you can pop it quite far over the hip, right? So he needs to just concentrate on that slide.
It probably feels like distance is the problem, but really it's balance.
Waiting for that second score to come in. Our judges scribbling away. Shari looking up at the camera there. You can see them locking those scores in. They're going to be coming through any second. 65.22 was the last one. I feel like execution was better this time.
Just a little upgrade, a small upgrade for Igoitz, but what you need to pay attention to on this scoreboard is these are bales scoring this high. We don't know where, if those final tricks go down, we don't know where those end up on the leaderboard, and they all have a chance.
And Alessandro Mazzara, you can hear the crowd screaming and stamping their feet in the stands as he's gearing up for getting down for run number 2. Dropping in, taking it out onto that railing. Oh, not quite getting a good ollie out.
I think it makes a big difference not ollieing over the coping.
He's going to have to make up for it now with this one. And do you think that's going to knock his confidence? I was just about to say.
It's so difficult when you're wondering if you already made a mistake you can't recover from. Even though it's a really small one from the outside, in your head, if it takes up any space, you might miss your foot position by a centimeter.
But I think that's going to be worse in his head than it is on the judging. I don't think the ollie in is going to really affect it massively because of the tricks he's doing afterwards.
You want to focus on the things that are going to move the needle. The alley-oop kickflip Indy into the bank is a way bigger deal.
Okay, Luigi Cini.
See, and this is experience. It's cold. He's punching his legs. He's bouncing around. He's staying warm. He knows that's important.
So 87.49 for that completed run. You can see he's just going through the motions, remembering what that line is.
You can see from his facial expressions, he's knowing where he's going to pump harder and softer.
You can almost see him breathing in the right place as well. Okay, 45 seconds on the clock. Second run.
Expect a big pump coming out of his first 540 based on his pre-run routine.
Starting it off with that backside Smith. You see that all the style for every mile. Indy into the deep end. Kickflip Indy back out. Taking that 5-0.
His front foot just dropped. He might be preparing for something bigger.
Oh, okay. Going for the flip 540, and that's certainly what he's going to need to be able to move that needle, like you say.
Exactly. Now that he has a rundown, I think that kickflip 540, once it gets into his hand, he's not going to give up on it.
Now, with so many non-completed runs so far, do you think it's a nerves thing?
It's difficult to feel the transition. So when you're coming into a semifinals, you get a run to get ready. In finals, you're trying to pick up where you left off.
Okay. Someone in just that position right now is Kalani Koenig.
I want Kalani to skate for today, not to back up yesterday. He had an amazing performance, but he needs to skate to how he feels right now.
I'm really excited to see where he's going to go. Oh, and it's not gone again. The alley-oop kickflip Indy just getting caught up.
And now, even though there's been a few bails, Kalani is in a tough position because he has no feel for the big transition on the other side of the skate park.
But I think the power he's going to get out of getting that out of the way, if he lands it well, I think it's going to be electric watching him go through the rest of that run.
And you'll be able to feel the crowd light this place up.
Oh yeah, when he lands that, it's going to explode here in Ostia as we take it back to the top of the heat and third and final runs. And for some of our heats, this is the last chance. Current leader, Victor Sormundi, on screen right there. Sitting in that 90.58, and someone who's looking to beat that score right now is Pedro Barros.
No matter how it goes, I want to see Pedro finish this run just so he can address the crowd, he can address the event just like you know he wants to.
So ollieing in off of that kicker. Love that line to start things off. Wow, that was such a slow spin on that.
And this is the exact line that he wanted last time.
Indy nose bone, taking the 50-50 off the hip into the deep end. Okay, he's past where he got to on that run number one, getting the Stalefish 540 done.
Back leg held up. He landed good on the alley-oop Indy over the love seat.
Frontside 50-50 through that corner. The kickflip fin. Indy is on. He's taking it out onto that platform corner, lead to tail.
To land on the volcano, have enough speed to hit that high quarter pipe outside of the skate park is amazing.
Ollie up to backside Smith.
One more.
Oh, wow, how he got away with that, I do not know. He's ollieing up to the manual roll, taking it back down, and he's saying, what do you think of that, Rome? Wow, Pedro coming through. I don't know how he got away with that backside air, Mitchie. That was crazy.
Everyone's thinking the same thing. It looked like he was stuck between 14 or 15 different tricks in his head on the way up into that.
Wow, okay. Is it going to be enough to take that first place spot? It's certainly going to be up there, and this is what Pedro's known for. Look at the passion. Look at the soul of skateboarding being trapped inside him, and that passion getting pushed through. So good to see his amazing skateboarding.
That's what Pedro cares about. He wants to make his run, but he wants to do it like he does.
And I've just been told that's the 4th completed run in all of this final so far.
Wow. From the scores, you would think that those were some makes on the way into it.
No, they're just incredible runs with falls. Look at how slow that span. It was a full, like, front flip melon 5.
And when you see a run like this as another competitor, you can actually forget about your own bails and just feed off of the energy that Pedro left in the bowl.
Oh, there is plenty of it in that bowl right now.
Backside 360, I thought it was going to be, and then he just held on to the backside here. He's maybe the only one in the world who could get away with that.
It was like, wow, that hand down there, I don't know if the judges are going to watch that back and maybe punish him a little bit for it, because I don't know if he would have made it without putting that hand down.
Look, I have no idea what's going on that backsider. I don't think anyone in the judges booth has ever seen anything like that. That's one of Pedro's points, is you can't judge skating based on paper. You have to watch it and judge based on how it feels.
I mean, that's worth saying, isn't it? I mean, there's one thing watching it through the screen. It's another thing being on the platform and seeing that kind of powerful and exciting skateboarding happening right in front of your eyes. So waiting for the scores, you can see Pedro's looking up at that scoreboard.
And you know he's happy with his run when he's patiently waiting for his score to come in.
Yeah, what do you reckon's going through his mind right there?
I think he's just wondering where on the leaderboard this will go, but I do genuinely think he's really happy with how he skated today.
Whoa, 90.72, and Pedro Barros has just moved into first place with his third and final run. Luigi coming in, giving him some props. Wow, there's a way to do it. Save it till that last run.
That's how you start the third and final run of the final heat men's final.
How do you think Victor is going to answer that?
You know, Victor's younger. Victor doesn't have as much experience deep in a final like this. He has to stay focused, get through the first part of his run, and just focus on that one addition in the middle. Keep his job very small.
Here he goes, 45 seconds on the clock, third and final run for Victor Solmundi. Oh, it looked like his front foot was getting caught up, but he got away with it.
Good save.
But like you say, that might actually give him something else on this.
Now he's dancing with it. He's fighting for his life. He's in there having a good time.
I love that carve off the hip to get the line for that Indy nose bone into the deep end. Tail grab 5, a little bit better execution on that, and he got the speed to get the nose grind.
There's the upgrade.
He's going to be coming round off that switch carve, getting into the deep end. Oh, and he stamps it down. He needs to get this last trick for a completed run. Oh, no! Not quite getting it. And you could see the disappointment as it was rolling across the flat bottom there. He knew that it wasn't going to be.
Look, a lot is going to be running through your head coming out of a long, difficult run like that. You have some space in the flat bottom. It's hard to finish your run on a technical trick because you get so tired flipping your board and spinning around.
I mean, great skating from Victor all weekend. He was holding that first place position for quite some time, and only a few decimal points above.
That back 180 over the volcano in the middle of his run was a great addition. I'm really curious to how the judges would have rewarded that, considering it was followed by a kick turn that was technically supposed to be a grind.
Okay, 86.25, so staying with that 90.58. And now Victor needs to sit and watch the rest of the heat go and see if he can maintain that second place medal. Ever the showman, Augusto Akio warming up with the juggling that we know him very well for.
I think this makes Augusto feel comfortable in his own skin. At first I thought it was a showman thing, but I think it's his way to take a breath, connect to his body.
Yeah, kind of a centering ritual to do.
And now it's like, this is his first trick, but he's already been doing it the show.
Yeah, he's straight in there with the back Smith and the Ollie 540. He does that nose grind so well.
And he was standing on that one a little bit extra.
There's a saran wrap body jar.
Key part of the run, this heel flip, as long as he gets it into his hand.
Oh, changing it up. That is what we wanted to see, right? Changing the run up.
That changes the timing, that changes your pop. Going alley-oop into a corner is so difficult.
But also, to get that done first go of changing it up is going to give him that boost he needs.
Let's see this ollie. So he has speed to go over the love seat again. Backside 270.
Wow. Okay, so thank you very much to everyone out there.
But very few riders are using the love seat twice. That has to be noted.
Yeah, for sure. Interested that he didn't go with the 540 over the hip that we know him for, but changing it up and then ollieing out to the backside 50-50 and taking the 270 in, definitely changing up that use of course.
He didn't do that alley-oop front side, and he didn't do the backside 5, so I wonder if the judges are looking for a reason. There's no space between 1 and 2. So if you're in a tough spot, you have to either show the judges, hey, you have all the reasons in the world to put me first, or else they might just be stuck putting you in 3rd or below.
There's that nose grind, so good every time. And this is where we saw that change up in the run. Still traveled all the way around the corner. Look at that.
Wow.
Caught it on his backside.
That board is moving around in his hand. He's holding on through the transition. It almost wanted to push him back seat.
And is that change up of that run going to be enough to get up onto that podium?
And I think they're discussing that 540 or alley-oop in that one section right at the end of the run. Hey, what does this mean for his overall position?
93.53, look at his face!
Huge
Augusto
score.
Akio has now jumped into 1st place.
And it's getting late in this contest. That alley-oop heel flip body varial into the corner is so difficult. The judges know that you can't see the way that the angle of the transition is changing. You have to just jump hard and land by feel.
And that means with 390s up on that board, Luigi Cini has been pushed down into that 4th place position. Okay, Hampus Wimberg, 3rd and final run. Highest score so far, 85.18. We know we can get up over into those mid-90 scores, and that's what he's going to need now.
He should just let it go. Whatever happens, happens. He's got his safe run down. The song is great for him in the ramp. I think it's not too intense, but he's got his safe run down. He's ready to let it fly, have that breakout performance, catch his 1st podium.
I mean, he's looking very relaxed. That nose grab 5 went so far. Ollied into that pocket really well. Probably the best execution he's had so far.
Looking more comfortable than both run 1 and run 2.
Loving the way Smith grinds across that deep end and just drops down over the
Front foot's
hip.
wiggling around. I hope to see this kickflip earlier in this run this time, just like that.
Looking very solid so far. Oh, the back foot not quite getting back on the board. And you can see that frustration. It felt to me like he'd relaxed and he deserved to get that full run.
Yeah, it's like you have to stay present. That's one of the things that Augusto does very well. Not get ahead of yourself. I wonder if his last trick in that contest was going to be a bigger one, so he forgot about his back foot for just a split second.
Yeah, just focusing on that last banger.
Stay right with it 100% of the time.
65.09, so staying with that 2nd run score of 85.18. Well, he's certainly blown some minds out here.
I think
Goitz is getting ready for that 3rd and final run.
All eyes on the blunt slide to finish this run. I want to see a dramatic change to foot position. I want to see his back foot sitting in the center of the tail well before he gets into the blunt slide.
Okay, here we go.
But he's
3rd
got
and
to
final
start
run
focused.
for Goitz.
One trick at a time.
And there's one trick that he does so well, the big 540. Bringing it round to the love seat. You can see the body position was right straight away before he'd even got into that.
Really compact, really smooth. And that kickflip, that alley-oop kickflip Vinny would give a lot of skaters trouble, but he has it every single time.
There's the backside tail slide into the deep end. Getting that line to come around with the frontside tail slide and ollieing off over the hip.
Looks like absolutely no fatigue. His strength is still the same as it was in run 1.
And here we go.
There's that back foot wiggle.
He's got it done. Here we go.
Goitz.
You can hear the crowd really behind him.
Just stand on this. Don't fall forward.
Yeah!
You're okay.
Oh, he's got it done. You can see him screaming and hear him screaming as he rode out of that one. Goitz getting it done on that 3rd and final run.
And he does not care about his score there. That reaction, he wants to go home from finals with a run down. He wants to remember Ostia by popping out on the deck.
Look at that. Everyone all smiles as he walks along. Pedro beaming for him. The camaraderie on the platform is like no other sport super stoked for Igoitz to get that full run done.
Everything that you see is so impressive that a lot of those reactions you see is just genuine amazement at what the other riders can do, because it's not like Igoitz can go do Augusto's run and Augusto can go do Luigi's run. So everyone is very different and have their own strengths.
Oh, look at that. He landed so high up on that as well.
Genuine passion, a genuine response. I love that.
86.91 sees Igoitz end up in 5th place.
I think he's going to feel a little frustrated with that, but you have to remember, Luigi's run is incredibly difficult in 4th place. It's going to be really tough for Igoitz to jump all the way into the 90s.
Okay, yet to get that run that he wants. Had a wobble on the second trick of run number 2, and then we're now down to that 3rd and final run for Alessandro Mazzara.
He's done this start so many times. Just ignore what happened last time. Do it how you know.
And he is definitely going to be feeding off of that huge round of applause as he drops in.
There we go. Watch his front foot start setting up before the frontside grind.
No, it's just got away from him. And Alessandro Mazzara not getting the run that he wanted, and will be ending on that 75.58. I really wanted to see where he was going to go with the last trick.
That goes to show how difficult it is to flip your board. Look how great of a skater Alessandro is. That was 3 kickflip indies that got him.
24.23, so staying with that first run score. And we have one final rider remaining. Top 2 are from Brazil.
Nobody is safe right now.
Well, I'm sure that they would like to see
Both
all
Luigi
Brazilian flags on that podium.
And Kalani up.
Luigi Cini gearing up for getting down, rolling in backside.
Foot placement is everything. We'll be able to tell well in advance if he's going to stick with that kickflip 540 in the deep end.
Oh, hanging on. No, not quite getting it. And he knows that's going to be it for him. He's going to be ending up on that 87.49 from run number 1. That shows how important that run number 1 is.
It's the opposite story from what we saw in semifinals. We saw the contest building and Luigi improving on his runs through the event. This time he started so strong.
22.95 coming through. Looking disappointed, and he only got bumped off of that 3rd place position as Augusto's score got locked in.
He wants podiums. There's no doubt about it. Luigi is good enough that he wants podiums. He knows he can do it.
I did say there was one final rider, but we've actually got Kalani Koenig
Augusto's watching this closely.
Oh, no way, not quite coming together. Do you know what? In between runs, I saw him put that down.
Really?
Perfectly. And I'm so upset that he just couldn't quite get it done.
You know, it's such a high-risk way to start your run with a trick that hard.
And it looks like we're going to see those 2 Brazilian flags up there on the podium. Augusto Akio getting that juggling going and putting on the show so we can continue to entertain the crowd.
A phenomenal podium up there, and I'm really happy to see Victor follow up Pedro really nicely. Showed a lot of maturity out there in this entire event.
And there are a lot of Brazilian flags in the crowd, a lot of fans for all of our Brazilian skaters out here.
Everywhere you go, you have a home field advantage as a Brazilian in these contests.
So let's take a look at our final standings. All smiles for Team Brazil. Okay, Kalani Koenig couldn't quite get that alley-oop kickflip indie together. Nick getting away from him. Alessandro Mazzara, similar story, not getting the full run that he wanted. Hampus Wimberg, 85.14 was good enough for 6th. Egoitz coming through in that 5th place. Luigi Cini getting bumped off of that 3rd place position by Augusto Akio and ending up in 4th. And our top 3, Victor Sormundi getting the 90.58 from run number 1. Pedro Barros coming through in the final run with a 90.72. And our new world champion, Augusto Akio, a 93.53. See him taking that win. And we are going to jump down course side with Augusto Akio right now.
Augusto Akio, thank you very much for taking some time to talk to us. You were 5th here last year. You were 2nd in Sharjah 2022. What a time to get 1st.
Then now that you said the numbers, I realized I qualified 5th and I got 5th last year. And this year, 1st place is such a big pleasure, honor to carry the Brazilian flag with me, carry my values, what I believe, my faith, and also I'm here just because all the Brazilian community of skateboarding and also of everything, my family, my mother, my grandfather, my father, my brother, my sponsors, my friends that skate with me every day. I'm just being able to do all this that I'm doing, coming here, traveling the world, living the dream because of them. I just want to say thank you.
Among those friends was Pedro Barros, who had an absolutely wild ride. Can you tell us a little bit about your friendship with him?
Wow, Pedro Barros is one of my biggest idols. Him and Formiga, Marcelo Formiga, those skaters, like the message that they pass to the skaters, to the world, like the way they see the things around them, it's amazing and big inspiration for me.
Augusto Akio, you're the new world champion. Thank you for your time and congratulations once again, my friend. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you very much, Niall. So good to hear from Augusto. Full of passion, and you can hear that with how he's thanking everyone.
Man, and you can tell what a heartfelt response that was. You know, he didn't talk about he's always wanted to win or this. He's like, I'm able to do this because of my family and friends and my sponsors. Like, thank you guys for the chance.
So let's take a look at our top 3 runs, starting off with bronze medal run with Victor Sormundi. Victor was way out there in the lead for some time, and it was this run that he did it with. Heel flip frontside air to start things off. Huge 540. And that first run really seemed like he was so chomping at the bit to get it done.
And he really set the tone. I think he helped this competition with putting this run down the way he did.
And taking that silver medal, we have Pedro Barros, loving that approach, different to anyone else as he started.
Ollieing in the corner, putting together multiple 540s in the run, finding a way to alley-oop the love seat. Pedro is always a pleasure to watch.
And it came down to that 3rd and final run, getting it done when he needed to.
I think that manual was for fun after time.
And Augusto Akio is our world champion. And that big backside Smith to start things off, but Ollie 540, you cannot deny that's super hard.
It's easy to miss some of the tricks that Augusto does because they just come more, another trick, another trick, another trick.
And then finished it off with that Ollie out to backside 50-50, 270 in. You can see him there taking a bow and all smiles. So 2 Brazilian flags on that podium. They are going to be absolutely hyped.
And Augusto is going to take this one home and just know with a little bit more confidence